I'm Lee, and this week, my wife actually gave me the idea for this project. She said, why don't I try to make a slingshot? It's a pretty good idea. So this is a piece of 1.5" by 3/16, and I'm going to use it to start with. So I'm going to give myself, I think, around 2.5 inches. This is a pretty good start because this is pretty wide. I can taper the ends down a fuzz to give me a little bit more length. I really don't want to be too tall with the forks itself. So, just see where that goes. And I'm going to set this with a cold chisel. So that way I don't have to fight this line once it's hot. I know where center is. So I'm going to get a new line punched into that. And once that's done, I'm going to fire up the forge and start cutting that. I'll work on spreading this out. I'm going to take a hot rasp and clean up these edges a little bit where the cut is, so I have something to start with and I'm not fighting that chamfer all the way through. And then I'll try to get this flattened out to where I can get this kind of in a T shape. In my mind, I want to start each bend basically even with the edge. We'll try this side. It's looking pretty close, maybe. Maybe need to refine this a little bit. I'm starting to get a few dings in the corner, which I don't really like, but I can file those out. I need to extend these just a fuzz. Now to get some length, I'm just going to use the round side of my hammer and just tap. Okay, now I'm going to bend these slightly out of each other's way, because I need to use the guillotine tool on them. And I want to make a spot out on each end where the band can actually sit. So right out there on the tip, I'm going to use a fuller and then just squeeze that together a little bit. While the guillotine is out, I'm gonna fuller right behind so I can narrow up the handle some. Check that. Spin it over. Now I want to taper this handle down to a point. So there's no scientific method for the way that I'm going to do this. I'm just going to guess and say about right there. All right, I'm forged out. I got my touch mark in it. I need to round over this end where I chiseled it off. I need to taper the sides just a little bit, not too much back here because I'm going to put a wood handle, but I do need to flatten the spine off. It is pretty close right now, but it's a little fat on that one side. Won't take much with a belt sander. And then I'm going to take the edge off everything and get these rounded over so it doesn't cut the band. This is some oak that I had from a project that I was going to do. Ended up scrapping the whole project. But I had this piece of wood. It's off an old armrest for a chair that was no longer usable. So I'm going to use it for this. Now, because it usually gets so dusty in here that I can't film at all while I'm doing any kind of woodworking, I went ahead and bought a rasp, which was probably the smartest thing I've ever done. I have this blackened. I used a little bit of paste wax, and now I just need to take off some of this just so it's shiny again, so this is going to bond. And I have the rivets that I'm going to drive through it, and then get this thing epoxied so it can sit overnight. So got to get some finish put on here. Just going to use boiled linseed oil because it's a pretty decent finish. Got this sanded down nice. Helps darken that oak up. Okay, I've got to attach the band. Now, if you think that this is going to be a tutorial on how to put a slingshot band on, you would be wrong, because I have no idea. Tried watching some YouTube videos, and most of the new slingshots wrap over the top right here, which I don't care. I guess I'll try to do it that way. So pick whichever side the front's going to be, which I guess I would say that this will be the front. And I'll just start wrapping some string around there. They say to use rubber, but I don't have any. So this is going to be disastrous. Okay, I've got my can set up out in the yard. Just got a handful of gravel. Oh, that was so close. Strap wants to tangle up. Good thing this isn't for survival. I don't think I'd make it. I think I need a little bit more practice. So my final slingshot, got my mark right there, got these oak handles, turned out really nice on there, got my brass rivets. Now my tying method is terrible. It works, but it's terrible. This is nice and round because these straps, what I was seeing online is most of the new slingshots seem to wrap over the top. I always thought they just attached to the side, but come over the top, so this is a nice rounded point. Nothing can happen to the band up there. I have a recess here for the strings to attach to, but overall I think it turned out really nice. I'm happy with it. It's a good little project. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.